Hey everybody, welcome back to my Frosty's Kitchen YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to do a very fast pizza dough recipe that will give you 3 medium-sized pizzas. For our recipe today, I'm using all-purpose flour, which is also called plain flour. I have 5 cups in here, and that's equal to 750 grams. 1 3/4 cups of water. This is 425 grams. 6 tablespoons of olive oil, which is 66 grams, but I rounded it up to 70 grams. 1 teaspoon of salt, 5 grams, and 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, 10 grams. So those are the ingredients, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do, add all of my salt and give that a little whisk. And then all of our yeast. And I have been adding my salt and yeast together for a very long time, and I've never had a bad batch. And then we'll get in all of our olive oil. And then our water. And that's it for the recipe. And I just want to mention, my water is at 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is equal to 43 degrees Celsius. And I don't like to go any higher than that. You do risk killing your yeast. So that's actually a perfect temperature right there. So we've got my mixer all ready to go. This is an old KitchenAid. Love this little machine. We'll get our dough hook on, bring that up, and then I'm going to get this going. So now I'm going to watch very carefully to see if I need any more water. Sometimes you need to add a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of water. So just watch it carefully in the first minute or so. So now I can see that it's a little bit dry, so I'm going to add, that's probably just over a tablespoon, about 15 grams. And I'll just pour that in and we'll see what happens. And all of a sudden you can see the dough ball coming together just with that little bit extra water that we've added. So now at this point, this has been going, less than a minute. I'm just checking it. It feels good. So now I'm going to turn the mixer on, speed number 1, and I'm going to time it for 10 minutes. So there we go, my timer just went off, 10 minutes. So I'm gonna bring this down and look at how nice that dough is. See, when you press it, it comes back on you. Very supple. So I'm gonna just remove it from the machine. Get the machine out of the way. Trying to make this video super short. Right to the point. Oh, this dough looks amazing. So whenever you're doing a recipe for pizza or for bread buns or just bread, you always have to check your dryness of the dough. If you have to add a little bit of water, that's totally fine. It really depends on the day, on where you live in the world, and also the type of flour. So there we go. Look at that nice dough. So I'll just grab my little bench scraper and just get that right out. Look at that. Nice clean bowl. Perfect. Bring in my scale. The dough is not too sticky, so I shouldn't have a problem on here. I'm just going to wait for this to reset. Just moving it around here, I want to make sure. 1270 grams. Alexa, 1270 divided by 3.
1,270 divided by 3 is approximately 423.3333.
So there we go, 423 grams I need for each dough ball. So then I'm just going to take this and split it up. You gotta love these little electronic devices that tell you stuff. $4.23. There's $4.23 exactly. Perfect. We'll get that on there. $4.24. Close. That's good. And then the last one. There we go. $4.24. So perfect. I'll put all of the information on the screen as you're seeing it now, as well in ounces. So then I'm just going to simply take the dough ball and just bring it all into a little circle like this. So just bring everything together. You don't have to knead it. The machine did everything for you. And then flip it over. And then this is where you really want to get in and just move that dough. So as you're just basically going in opposite directions with your hand, and as you do, you're pushing down on the bottom of that dough ball. So there we go, one. So let's do it again. See, at this point the dough has been broken up, but it doesn't matter at this point because the dough has not risen yet. After it has risen, it's not a good idea to cut the dough, because then you cut the strands of protein that are in there. It's like cutting elastic bands. They just don't like that. So get in there like this. Like that. There we go. Make sure I'm on camera. And then fold it over. I have a monitor up on my ceiling, which I have to look at from time to time to make sure that I'm on camera. So there we go. That looks good. 3 nice dough balls. I have some little bowls here that I have greased or oiled. We'll get those on there. There's 1, 2, the third one. You can do this with olive oil. Just sprinkle a little bit on, use your fingers, rub it in, or just use anything that's in a little pressurized tin or can, and then just give it a little spray. So we just don't want the tops of these to dry out. We want to get a nice, action going, nice expansion of the dough. And if the dough is dry, then it won't want to do that, easily. So there we go. And now we're just going to cover those up. And then just grab some plastic wrap and get that right over the top. There's one. Two. And 3. And there we go. So, questions I always get: can I use the dough right now? You could, but not the best idea. Wait at least an hour so that the dough rises, and then at that point you can use the dough. What I always like to do is I let these go for a good hour. It depends. If it's colder in your house, you're going to go an hour and a half. But let's say I'm just going to leave these for an hour. They're going to rise up, and then at that point you can use them. Or what I do is, if I'm only going to have dinner in 3 or 4 hours, I do put them into the fridge, because I don't want all of the yeast to expire. Because the yeast is working. It's a live, organism, and it will just continue to produce energy. And if you keep it at room temperature, then it just expires too quickly. So by putting it into the fridge, it slows down the growth of the yeast. The yeast gets sleepy, it gets cold, and then what you do is you just bring it out about half an hour, 45 minutes before you're going to make your pizzas. That will bring the doughs, up in temperature, and then you're ready to make your pizza. So at this point, I'm just going to let these sit here until I see a little bit of activity, and then I'm going to put them into the fridge. So we'll let these go. I'm going to probably leave them about 1 hour, and then I'll come back and just show you before I put them into the fridge. So here we are again, not even 1 hour later. It's about 40 minutes in, and you can see the incredible rise on these pizza dough balls. So at this point, I want to get these into the fridge. So the dough balls will get cool, the yeast will go to sleep because it's getting cold, and then it'll have more activity or energy later on when it's in the oven. So here we are again. I just wanted to finish off the video with a few photos of the pizzas when they were being baked and the final product, just to give you an idea of what you can make in your own kitchen. So enjoy the photos. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you wish. And that's it for today, and I'll catch you on the next one.